I'm gonna let people tune in. All right, we already got some eyes on here, so I'm gonna get started. I'm Ariel Cantor. I work for Serious Eats. We are a recipe website, and we have all sorts of amazing recipes and techniques to help you cook better at home, especially during quarantine times. We actually just launched an amazing cooking in quarantine guide, all sorts of recipes for beans and pasta and techniques like knife skills, how to sliced chicken for stir fries, basically anything you could possibly need, it's there. Yasmin, if you actually want to throw that link in, that would be super helpful. Yasmin is our social intern at Serious Eats, and she's helping me with these videos, and I am super appreciative. Okay, so today I'm making quarantine quesadillas. It's originally a recipe on Serious Eats by Kenji. It calls for zucchini and corn. I know these are really summery ingredients, but I happen to have them now, and they're probably not at their peak, but I figure the best way to use them is to cover them in cheese and put them in a quesadilla. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. So I'll show you what I have for ingredients. This is very work with what we've got. Okay, so I have frozen corn, zucchini, tiny tomatoes that I actually grew in my AeroGarden. If you have an AeroGarden, nice, and if you don't have one, get one. Then I have some wraps. I couldn't even find 8-inch flour tortillas at the store because everything is sold out. So again, just work with what you got. If you only have corn tortillas, I'm sure you can figure out some way to make a quesadilla out of them. But for right now, I have these guys. They're super big, but that means we get to eat more. So here we go. I'm gonna start. What I really like about the technique for making these quesadillas is if I were just on my own, I would put the tortilla in a pan, and then I would just kind of top it with stuff, close it, and be done. What's great about this technique is you cook all the filling beforehand, you mix it together with the cheese, and then you put it in the quesadilla, so you get a bite of all of your filling all together. And I think that's brilliant. I can't believe I didn't think of that before. But leave it to Kenji and Serious Eats. It's great. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to move you guys over here to the cooking spot so you can see what's happening in my pan. So right now I'm not really going to be able to see your comments, but I'll look down here and there. So I'm going to turn on the heat. Right now I'm just going to cook the zucchini and the corn, give them a little bit of flavoring. Oh, and the tomatoes too, salt them, try and get a little bit of brown on them just so they're not, going into the quesadilla and being yucky. All right, gonna let this get hot. All right, moving our prep station over, and we're gonna get the zucchini in. Now again, this would be so good with any number of veggies that you have in your house. I don't know, if you want to slice up broccoli, maybe slice up your broccoli stems in there. You can grate some Brussels sprouts, really whatever you have on hand. And since you're kind of cooking it beforehand, you can always use the frozen stuff too, and I think it'll be pretty good. Just be careful if you're using frozen spinach, you want to squeeze some of that water out because nobody wants a liquidy quesadilla. Just going to toss in these tomatoes too. Oh, I'm very proud of these tomatoes that I grew. AeroGarden! Right. So since the zucchini and tomatoes are going to take a little bit longer than the corn, I'm going to start them first. Let's gonna do some salt. Some nice little salt crack. And this is such a great way to sort of infuse flavor into the ingredients before they even go into the quesadilla. I'm definitely a fan. I might also add, I have this really great spice mix. Here you go. It has salt, sugar, garlic, paprika, pepper, mustard, grains of paradise, shallots, chilies, green onion, and coriander. It's a super amazing spice mix. It kind of has everything you need for some sweet, some heat, so I'm going to add this too. But if you have another spice mix you like, go for it. This is super flexible. So I'm kind of just letting it sit in the pan right now. I'm going to try and get a little bit of brown on here. It would have been smart to use like a cast iron pan, but it's dirty. So I'm just using the pan that's in front of me. And it's totally my fault that it's dirty because I used it yesterday for dinner. All right, let's kind of move this around a little bit. It's looking good. If anyone has any questions about what to cook while you're in quarantine or how to cook something, feel free to slap into the comments and I'll do whatever I can to try and address your questions. Serious Eats has an amazing resource. If you're just joining us, we just launched our cooking in quarantine guide. There's tons of recipes, tons of techniques that will make isolation cooking and cooking when you have limited ingredients much easier. So the goal here is I don't want the zucchini to get too soft and mushy. So I'm gonna let it sit, try and give it a little char, and then I'm gonna take it out. So one must be patient, and I will wait. I'm trying not to shake the pan too much, even though I really want to. Another thing I can tell you about, Serious Eats just launched a blog, if you can believe it. We're going back in time to the blog. It's basically like a live stream of everything that's happening at Serious Eats, what the team is cooking, food news that we find interesting, pictures of staffers' dogs, which I know everyone really wants to have. It's an amazing resource. Also, Yasmin, she already put it in there. The leader of the blog right now is Show Space. Shout out to Show for doing an incredible job sort of amassing all this great content. Okay, so see we're starting to get some nice brown bits. That's really what you're looking for. So I think it's looking nice and tender. We just kind of cooked the rawness out of it. I still want it to have a little bite. So I'm going to take this out. Oh, wait, I got out the corn. Not taking it out yet. I want to make sure that the corn, defrosts, gets a little bit of that olive oil, gets a little bit of that salt and seasoning. So just cook it up real quick. If you were really going for something summery, basil would be really nice in here. Cilantro would be really nice in here. Some people in my house don't like cilantro, so I can't use it, but, quesadilla is always a great time for cilantro if you have it. Adding some more salt. All right, so now, we just kind of want to take that frozenness out of the corn. I think this looks good, so I'm going to pour it into this bowl that I have. And move. Hi. Okay. Gonna move our pan. So I'm taking all this really glorious, just cooked veggies. If you just joined, this is zucchini, corn, tomatoes that I grew, and I'm making some quesadillas. So it's great that we already have some olive oil in the pan, but that heats off. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna put all of the quesadilla ingredients in here, mix them all together, and then put them in a thin layer on the quesadilla so that they're on the tortilla. So you get a bite of veggies and cheese all together. So now I'm gonna add some scallions. They just kind of add some freshness, and since there aren't any, onions or shallots in here, these were scallions that were about to go, but I kind of peeled them down and got, I think a couple of good slices in there. Now I'm going in for the cheese. I found this, not sponsored by Cabot, but this is what my deli has, so going for it. If you don't live in New York and you're like, wow, she got that cheese at a deli, in New York, our delis are like bodegas, so there are grocery stores that, actually mine have pretty solid ingredients in them right now. So anyway, yeah, I'm gonna dump a bunch of cheese in here and not measure it, because I want it to be really cheesy here. There we go. That's a good ratio, right, of food to cheesiness? Okay, stir this all together. And this would be a good time to kind of test for seasoning, so I'm definitely going to do that. We don't need to melt the cheese right now because obviously it's going to melt when it's in there, but take a little bite. You know what? It's really good. I know out of season zucchini is kind of weird, but like, damn, that is delicious. So the last secret ingredient I'm going to add to the quesadillas, because right now I don't have any jalapenos, I don't have any pickled jalapenos, I don't have any chilies, so I'm going to add chili crisp. This is a super versatile Serious Eats recipe. It has all sorts of chilies in it. It has fried garlic, it has fried shallots, it has peanuts. It smells incredible. When you open it, it's like, it really just smells like fried shallots to me mostly, and then you kind of get this like warm, tingly Sichuan peppercorn situation. Oh, it's amazing. So I'm going to put this in there because, I mean, why wouldn't you? Thank you, Yasmin, for throwing that in the chat. I'm going to get a clean spoon to dump some of this in there, and then we're going to build our quesadillas. And this will kind of also add some like salty crunchiness. I'm going to use that much. I'd like to maybe add a little more. You really can't go wrong with chili crisp. Some people in the office eat it on ice cream. You can put it on eggs. You can put it in your, mix it into your cream cheese and put it on your bagel. Chili crisp is incredible. The recipe takes a really long time to make, but you have a lot of time in your house right now, so go for it, make it. And how long does it keep for, Yasmin asks? I think it will last kind of forever, but chances are you're probably going to eat the entire jar before you should ever really worry about it. All right, so mixing in the chili crisp to the bowl. You can see we already have some cheese melting. I just want to make sure that that spicy, kind of numbing chili crisp is all in there and mixed around. Okay. So honestly, I would just eat this with a spoon, but let's make it even better by wrapping it in a nice, delicious tortilla. So I'm going to add you guys back over here. Here we go. Okay, that's pretty good. Yeah. Apologize if the video quality is not up to par. I'm doing what I can with what I've got, which is actually the name of my cooking show. So I'm going to add some oil to the pan. There's already a fair amount. Since it's non-stick, it's not going to stick, but this is just a way to get kind of extra crispiness on the tortilla. Move this around. I wonder, I sort of want to get this crispy first, so maybe I'll let it brown a little bit. I'm going to check the recipe because I sort of forgot. But I think a good idea is to kind of get the bottom part crispy first and then put your ingredients in there. So let's see. I'm going to turn this down a little bit. All right. Yes, I'm exactly right. Sorry, I had to check the recipe. So what I'm doing now is I'm kind of heating the tortilla up. Also grabbing tongs. I'm letting this side get nice and crispy, and then I'm going to flip it over and fill it because you want to maximize that crispiness. So we're going to give it a minute, kind of swirl it around. I guess you can't really swirl it around. Normally, if you have an 8-inch tortilla, this is a little bit easier because it will like actually fit in your pan. But like I said, just getting what I got with ingredients that I have. Let's see. Do you like soft tortilla or crispy tortilla? I prefer soft enough that you can actually fold it, but I definitely want those little crispy bits just because they're like more toasty and delicious, is what I would say. And definitely the point of you know, cooking the inside first is that you kind of maximize that crispy brownness. Do I sound like I know what I'm talking about? All right. This is looking really good. I'm going to show you guys what it looks like. I'm going to flip this over carefully. Oh, wow. Okay, so this is really great. Now you can see we already have some crispiness. I'm going to go in with our filling. Again, zucchini, corn, chili crisp, tomatoes, cheese. gonna try and do like a half layer. And for good luck, I'm turning the heat down, and I'm gonna add a little extra cheese, and then I'm gonna fold it over. More cheese. All right, so hopefully this will fold over pretty well. Nice. So at this point, you know, it could be done, but what I'm gonna do is keep the heat kind of low, and I'm gonna get this thing, oops, called a chef's press. This is a chef's press. It kind of does what you could do with a cast iron pan, but this will kind of press down those ingredients without my having to do too much work, which is really nice. This way, tortilla is going to get crispy, the cheese is going to get all melty, and we're going to have the best tortilla possible. These come in 2 different weights. You can actually stack them on top of each other like this, if you want to. Maybe I will do that. If you want to learn more about chef's presses, why you use them, they're especially great when you're searing meat. Yasmin, if you want to throw in how to use a chef's press, go for it. All right, now I'm going to flip this bad boy. Hopefully it's not too burned. Woo! Nice. It's always good to make sound effects when you're cooking because it's fun. So now we're getting to the end of this quesadilla situation. Gonna get my plate ready. Or actually, I'm just gonna put it on my cutting board and cut it so that you guys can see it. And remember, everything in there is already cooked, so we're just kind of waiting to get everything crispy and melty. I think we're like pretty much there, so I'm gonna move this over. Hi. Okay. Gonna remove my chef's presses. Remember, if you're searing with these, they get pretty hot, but they're super useful to have in the kitchen. You can even do little exercises with them. All right, so now I'm gonna use spatula and my tongs to get this out of here. Okay. So let's see what we got. It smells incredible. I think really because of the chili crisp. You got that like fiery chili situation. So let's cut this up. You can hear that nice crispy quesadilla. Oh my gosh. Ooh, I did a terrible job cutting this. Well, we're gonna get a little baby one. Oh, that's hot. So, if you want to take a look, I'm going to bring you up here. Okay. So, this is our finished quesadilla. It's super cheesy. You got the corn, zucchini, chili crisp, cheese. Did I say cheese already? I'm going to take a bite of it because I want to. That's hot! Oh my gosh. Oh, this is amazing. I cannot recommend this enough. Chili crisp and quesadillas is incredible. Welcome, Jane Henry. Thanks for coming. Hopefully you can watch the video from the beginning to see how this all came about, but it's pretty simple. I just made quesadillas. The recipe is on Serious Eats. If you want to go click down this way, you can get to our website. You can follow us on Instagram. You can follow us on Twitter. We have lots of great stuff going on, so enjoy. I'm going to go eat this because it's amazing. Probably make a few more because I have the ingredients. I encourage you to make quesadillas out of whatever you have. And, oh, a few more things. Has Serious Eats been on Twitch for a while? No, this is super new. This is our 4th video. We're just doing what we can, trying to get out to the masses, that we have great recipes and great techniques. One more thing that you should know about is we're currently doing Starch Madness. If you're feeling kind of bummed that March Madness is canceled, Starch Madness, it's all living on our Instagram stories. We're doing a full bracket of 64 dried pasta shapes, and you can vote on the best pasta